So, I had the misfortune of accidentally watching the movie They Will Kill You. How do you accidentally watch a movie like this? Well, I went to one of those mystery movie events at the movie theater and I thought it was going to be some kind of classic movie like Ghostbusters or something like that, but it's actually for brand new movies. So, we were completely surprised to find out it was not an old classic movie, and I couldn't even figure out what I was even watching because when it started, I was like, what studio is this? This looks fairly new. Like, I thought this was a classic movie event. And there are actually quite a lot of people in the theater, even though you don't know what you're even gonna see. And the woman next to me had like a little kid with her, and it turned out this movie was a hard R. And there was this like little kid there. I'm like, I don't know, maybe they need some better warnings before these events. But so we're watching this movie, and it starts out with like this girl and like this other little girl, and they're in the rain and they're running away, and then they're like being chased by some guy who's abusing them, and she murders him, and then she runs away, and then 10 years later and she's like in jail and stuff like that. So it's just like, what is even going on? Like, what is this movie? It's all dark and grainy, it's always raining. And then so we get a little bit of character information about her, and then she like has to go save her sister and gets out of jail somehow. And I even forget why. Why did they even let her out of jail? Whatever. So then she goes off to rescue her sister from this hotel, and it was called The Virgil. And I was sitting there thinking, is this movie called The Virgil? Isn't there a movie called that? So I sat there thinking that for a while, and then she like goes into this hotel and it's all weird and the people there are weird. So I was like, okay, is this a horror movie or something? I don't even know what kind of movie it is at this point, right? It's just all dark and gritty and everything's weird in this place. And then she gets in there, it's still raining, and then it gets into a shit ton of like violence and gore and stabbing and murdering and beheading and cutting people up. And I was like, okay, yeah, so this is like a horror movie and it's hyper violent. And so like and then this woman's there with this little kid, so like that's not good. And like she's sitting there like chopping people's heads off, and she's this smaller woman, she's not very big. And she spends, I swear, the entire movie in her pajamas, like killing people in pajamas. It's so lame. It's not cool at all, and it just looks stupid. And she's sitting like chopping people's heads off, and I'm like, it takes a lot of strength to like chop someone's head off even with a really good weapon. So that wasn't very believable, and she just keeps going and fighting. And even though she's like horribly injured half the movie, she gets like stabbed multiple times. Her hand is basically like almost chopped off, but she still keeps on going with this horribly injured hand, and she's crawling through all these places, bleeding all over the place, but she's fine. No mortal wound could possibly stop her. And the whole plot is that it's full of like these immortal, they're not vampires, but they're just like immortal people, I guess, and they're chasing her down because they need a sacrifice, and she's gonna be the sacrifice. And there's this like long segment of like an eyeball following her, which they try to make it comedic, but it kind of falls flat. It wasn't very funny at all. But I know I'm not the target audience for this movie, but I feel like if I was a 12 to 15-year-old little boy, I probably would have thought this movie was really cool. But as an adult woman, it's just like, it was so stupid, and it was boring, despite the fact that the whole time she's just like murdering people and slashing, and there's blood spraying all over the place. They're trying to make it kind of like a samurai film, with the kind of hyper violence. And like, and there's this like scene somewhere like near the middle of the movie where they do the shot of her like leaping through the air with the sword in slow motion as she slices it down. And it's just like some other movie. I don't know if it was like 300 or something, but it's like exactly the same as whatever. I don't know if it's like an homage to something, but it's exact same kind of shot, but it's like indoors and looks stupid. And she like bursts through this table while she's leaping through the air and like chops through it, or it's exploding for whatever stupid reason. And she swings and like slices this guy completely in half. It's so stupid. And like, only if you're, like I said, a young child, like little boy, you'd probably be like, that's so cool, wow. Like, it's just lame. And you know what this movie made me think of was, if you remember that older movie, it's kind of the same thing, but it was actually like stylized and kind of cool. I forget what it was called, but is it Atomic Blonde or something, where that one chick, but she's just all sexy and like runs around just killing people with a katana or something. But see, that whole movie made sense because she hallucinated like an escape from the mental institution, right? But she didn't really escape. That was the whole movie. Well, this movie is not a mental like dream or anything. Like, it's supposed to actually be happening. We're supposed to believe that this chick is somehow able to kill an entire army of immortals that cannot be killed all by herself with barely any weapons and like only one little shotgun and like a machete. It's just too stupid. And then the plot turns out to be like they're cultists that worship Satan, and towards the end of the movie they get into like the upper level where they have their precious Satan pig head that's like on a stick. So they've had like, I guess this pig head has just been there for 100 years and somehow hasn't completely rotted away. So I guess the logic would be that because Satan inhabits this pig head that it doesn't rot. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know. It's just this pig head sitting there, and you gotta write your name on the magic pig head. And if you do that and sacrifice someone, you get to live forever. Hooray! So that's like the plot of this cult, and turns out her sister decided to join the cult and was gonna sacrifice her. She, whatever, how she ended up being the sacrifice for her sister was really dumb. But her sister, decides to sacrifice herself to make her sister immortal and la-di-da, and that's like not, you totally know what's going to happen to it. It's not even a surprise. But then it just gets even stupider when like the pig head, Satan inhabits it and starts talking and stuff and makes like the bad guys kill each other and stuff before the sacrifice happens. And then the pig head like goes on to the one woman's body and like takes control of her. So the girl has to fight while still in her pajamas, right? She has to fight Satan's pig head mounted on this other lady's body, and it's just like so stupid and looks so bad, and it's like this really long drawn out fight. It's so stupid. And of course, she's so awesome badass that she can outsmart Satan, so of course she beats Satan in a fight. And then somehow, what did she do? Yeah, because now she's immortal, she like lights the Satan pig head on fire and throws it like down the hallway, and it explodes or something. It just blows up, yeah. And all the cultists, she doesn't kill all of them. She only killed the ones that were like attacking her upstairs, but she left the left of them, leaves the rest of them alone, and I guess they'll just die naturally now because their names have been erased from the pig head. And then so it ends with her carrying her sister's body out from the Virgil Hotel, and now she's immortal. And then she meets up with the random guy that showed up earlier in the movie that told her about her sister. We don't know like who this guy is, why he's helping her, or how he knows, or if they did say anything. Like, I don't remember, and it wasn't enough to like recall. And so like she gets into this car with that guy, and her sister comes back to life because she sacrificed, or I guess she sacrificed all the cultists and changed the name on the pig's skin that she's now carrying around in her pocket, which makes her sister immortal and her normal. So it's just the stupidest piece of crap that you could possibly imagine. And they don't reveal the movie's title till like the end, but I kind of figured out the name of this movie earlier, because early in the movie they show you the title of the movie, and it's in the scene like on the mirror where it's like the name of the movie is called They Will Kill You, is written on the mirror. And I was like, isn't that the name of a new movie? I think I saw a commercial for that the other day, but I was like, but this isn't supposed to be that movie, right? So I was completely confused that I was actually seeing a brand new movie before it even released, which I had never wanted to see ever. Like, you couldn't pay me to watch this movie. Like, honestly, if I was asked to come and watch this movie and get paid the $20 to watch it like I used to, like preview movies, I probably would have just stayed home. Like, I'd rather stay home and do nothing than get paid to watch this movie. And it was so bad that like an hour into it, I was seriously thinking like, I kind of want to leave. I just want to go. I'm bored. This is stupid. I don't like it. It's not even like a good scary horror movie. And while I was sitting there, an entire group of people like left the theater, like all like 4 or 5 all at once. So I was like, you knew they were leaving and not coming back. So I was like, oh, they actually did walk out because this movie's so bad. So that was kind of funny. So I was like, oh, I should go with them, but I don't know why I decided to waste another hour of my life and watch this movie till the end. It wasn't like it was super engaging, and you knew she was gonna like beat Satan somehow because the movie's that stupid and pretentious. So I do not recommend this movie. It's so dumb. It's a waste of your time. It's watching this girl like crawl around in tunnels and bleed all over the place, get beat up yet not die, and then like a stupid plot about cultists that just won't die, and like some comedy that falls flat unless you're like a teenager that still thinks that kind of stuff is funny. And it's just like, even visually it wasn't very interesting. Like they tried to have some more interesting angles and cuts and shots, but I just didn't appreciate it. It kind of seemed like a really poorly put together like comic book movie. So I mean, it's a lot of work to make a movie. I'm sorry whoever spent a lot of time on this, that maybe you thought it was cool, but I really didn't like this, and I don't recommend this to anyone. So unless you're a 12-year-old to 15-year-old little boy who thinks lots of hyperviolence is still super cool, watching a girl in her pajamas fight a bunch of cultists and blow up a pig head, this movie is for you. But for the rest of us, stay home and watch a classic or go see Hail Mary or anything else. Oh yeah, and then another thing with that eyeball that was following her. Was it supposed to be like hearing things? Because they show the POV from the eyeball. And it kind of seems like it hears sounds while it's following her, but eyeballs don't hear, so I'm not sure how it's supposed to be getting any sound waves in there. I don't know. This movie is just like all full of all kinds of stupid stuff like that.